Welcome to Mass Rundown. Bleach, the Soul Society, the sneak entry arc, is the second season of the Bleach anime. It's episode 21 to 41. Today we're going to do a rundown of the season, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on what was done well and what was a letdown. We start off with Ichigo and his team heading to Soul Society to rescue Rukia. We meet a gatekeeper, where we get our first look at the results of Ichigo's training. Ichigo wins the fight, so obviously the gatekeeper opens up the gate, however they're confronted by Ichimaru Gin, who stops them from entering. Gin is very serpentine, he looks obviously mischievous, menacing, and straight off the bat he's one of my favourite characters. So now the team need to find a new way into the Court of Pure Souls, and as a side, there's a lot of running around in this season. It's running around, waiting. As an example, we get to see Shibata the parakeet again, and well, I mean, it was something, but yeah. So at this point, we're introduced to Ganju, and he's another one of those characters I found really annoying. Moving along, we get lots of insights into the Soul Society and the workings, how the captains and the Shimigami deal with the news of an invasion, and I find that very interesting. Also, they sow a lot of seeds of suspicion, and there's definitely something not right with the upcoming execution of Rukia. I must say, as annoying as I find some of the characters, they do have their moments where their comedy is really on point, and the serious moments where you get a real feel for their character, their backstory, their motivations are done very well. I'm talking mainly about Ganju here. His backstory and interactions with Ichigo can be very funny. I didn't like him at first, but he grows on you, and it does work even though he's annoying. That's a little off track, but basically at this point they get launched into the Court of Pure Souls in a giant cannon and then get separated. So let's take a brief break to look at why they're trying to save Rukia. I love Ichigo's reasoning. It's not like it's friendship or something that is in most animes. She saved him and now he feels indebted to her to return the favor. It's about that responsibility. She's going to be executed because he couldn't protect his family. She gave up his powers and faced the judgment of Soul Society to save him, and he cannot let her die because of his actions. So in his mind, it's his responsibility to save her. And that's very different from, oh, it's my friend, I have to save them, or any of the other general motivations we get in anime, which I quite like this. So the first Shimigami Ichigo meets is Ikaku, a Shimigami from Squad 11, and they of course end up fighting, and it is one of the best fights of the season. At one point, Ichigo mentions Unohara trained him, and we know he's more than just a shopkeeper, but Ikaku's reaction to his name kind of makes it clear that he is way more than we even suspect at this point. However, while this great fight is going on between Ichigo and Ikaku, we get a fight between Ganju and Ayasagawa, and it just went on for too long, and it wasn't interesting, and I just wanted to watch more of the main fight. We also see Ishida get into a fight, and he's protecting Orihime, and it's already obvious that he's probably the only other competent fighter in the group. The season also highlights the fact that the average Soul Reaper, Shimigami, is way too weak. We get more running around, and this seems to be the theme for this arc. Renji and Ichigo meet up for a rematch, and of course Ichigo wins this fight. We get some backstory into Renji and Rukia's relationship. There's a subtle sadness to their backstory that is done really well. And then this is where Bleach does something I really hate. Things are heating up, it's getting intense in Soul Society, and then we cut away to a filler episode on Earth where there's silliness and Don Kajuni, and it's just not... It's such a distraction from the main event, it really throws you off. But thankfully that only lasts for one episode, and then we're back to Soul Society, and it's clear that the captains are on a completely different level to the rest of the Soul Reapers. Aizen is very unassuming and comes across as maybe the most normal of them, and it's quite a surprise when he's murdered by an unknown assailant. It's at this point of the anime that I actually forgot that Sato even exists, and then he's back in it and he's beaten by the 8th squad captain easily. Kuraku is on a completely different level to anything we've seen this far into the show, and by far one of my favourite characters. So at this point Ichigo is rested again and is now fighting Zeraki Kenpachi. He's the captain of the 11th squad. Kenpachi is an absolute monster. I love the interaction between him and Ichigo, and their fight is the highlight of the season. In the end, Ichigo wins, but it's more of a draw. It's also worth noting that in this fight we get a first look at the hollow part of Ichigo. And that scene where he starts swinging his sword by the hilt is amazing. Like, it's sad that we don't get to see more of that in the show because that just looks so cool. So while Ichigo is fighting Kenpachi, Ganji and Hanaturo arrive at Rukia's cell. And we discover what a small world it is, because Rukia killed Ganju's brother. And at this time we don't really know why. We don't get time to explore this more because Captain Kuchiki arrives and it's like the rescue mission is totally going to fail now. As a side, the scenes with Hanatoro were some of the funniest scenes, and for a very weak character, he's very brave. So the final episode kind of leaves us on a massive cliffhanger. Ichigo appears, confronts Kuchiki, so Ichigo's there, two captains are there, Yorichi's there, they're all on a bridge, and it's quite an intense scene to just leave the season off on. My overall thoughts, like, I'm amazed more people don't die in this season. We get a lot of seemingly fatal wounds, and everybody's always, yeah, they're okay. They're just quick heal and they're good to go for the next fight. And it also feels like the season was a lot of start and stopping, so Ichigo could heal up, because they wanted him in nearly every fight, and everyone else is pretty much useless. There's so much internal fighting in Soul Society as well. Like, all of this should have been sorted out very quickly, very easily, and it doesn't get sorted out. Also, and this is just me, if you can take one thing away from the season, it's that they really need to hire a city planner or something. There are so many dead ends in Soul Society. Most of the buildings are empty. Like, I don't know what the purpose of the design of Soul Society actually is. And I'm sure you could probably let me know in the comments if it's been dealt with in the manga, if they're like, yeah, it's designed this way because the configuration lines up with something. I don't know, but when I look at it, it's like, it's dead end after dead end after dead end with a whole bunch of empty buildings. It's weird. Overall, the second season's really good. You get some really cool fights in it, but it is a lot of running around and waiting. So I'm going to give it a 7, because the fights definitely elevate the season, but it could have been better, and it didn't really progress the story all too much. I mean, they got to Soul Society and they were running around a bit. That kind of sums up the season. So next time we'll run down season 3, The Rescue. Later.